Hi, my name is Mary Frances Burt. I'm an American artist living in the Southeast. Like many artists, I'm inspired by nature. I love to paint landscapes, cloudscapes, flowers, and native birds. Recently, I started painting cotton pods, which is a little unusual, I think. But when I was a young adult, I saw a cotton field for the first time. Even though I'd grown up in a rural area, surrounded by tobacco fields and soybean fields, I had never seen cotton in the field before. And it was just before it was harvested. If you can imagine a field that has never seen snow, maybe ice, but never snow, and suddenly it was transformed by this white as far as you can see, you would understand how profound that moment was. What is consistent in my work is the choice of color. I have learned over the years that I see color a little differently than other people. In fact, my mother, who's a painter, asked me once, "How do you choose these colors?" And I said, "Well, these are the colors that I see." And she says, "I don't see those colors." So I think that's very interesting, and I like to be true and honest to what I'm actually perceiving. My process starts with sketches. I'm usually working on very inexpensive paper with charcoal or pastel. In fact, every morning I try to do morning sketches, and it's just whatever's on my mind and whatever's around me. Sometimes an idea will catch, and I think it's something I can build a painting on. My medium is charcoal, pastel, and any water-soluble pigment. So that includes watercolor, gouache, and acrylic. My work begins with the dry pigments, and then I follow with the paint. What's interesting is how the paint responds to the pastel and charcoal. It creates a really interesting texture, and in a single piece I may alternate between dry pigment and wet. What is unique about this piece behind me is that I've never worked at this scale before. Initially, when I started painting cotton pods, I painted them at life size. And each time I did a series, I would increase the scale. As you can imagine, the challenge was getting the same feel and texture even as I increased the scale. When I started painting cotton pods, I had no idea the subject would continue to fascinate me. In fact, I've done so many of them, I've called the series the Needle Rose series. I based the name on its study in contrasts. The fiber is really soft and it's bright white, even in its natural state. And the plant is spiky, and at time of harvest, it is just this brittle, horrible looking thing. And I think the reason I continue to be fascinated by the subject is because to me it represents so many things that are complicated and unexpected, and cotton for me is a perfect example of beauty found in unexpected places. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about this piece and my work in general.